Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today I want to piggyback off the last video to continue this idea. And today's video is going to be called What People Think of You Has Nothing to Do with You. We kind of understand this idea. I intellectually get this, but it becomes a huge part of our life, and it is what gives birth to this outside world, or what we would call that fourth wall. Let's say in theater, you're on the stage and you're performing, and there's a fourth wall, which is the audience. Or in film, it's the person watching the movie. Or maybe from a restaurant, it's the person that's reviewing you. There's this consistent idea of what people think of us. And we've had it since the beginning. When we were kids, trying to have the right friends, get the right grades. Not only we're trying to get the right friends, but we're trying to impress the teachers. We're trying to be the best that we can for our parents so they can be appreciative of us, so they can be proud of us. I mean, there's a lot of this fourth wall, so to speak, of this idea of what the world thinks of us that is ingrained inside of us. Now, this makes your life, you looking at your world out there, which is a mirror, and always reflecting back what you put into it. Now, if I put a mirror here, and I look this way, there is nothing here. That makes sense, doesn't it? Think about it. Your mirror is here. There's only one world. What I decide comes back to me. What I decide comes back to me. And this is hard for us to understand because we've created a whole nother world, and therefore there is no mirror. There's a second person, a second idea, and a world out there that's not just a reflection of what's inside me. And regardless of how this looks, this is never true. The world is indeed a reflection. You're the cause, and it's an effect only. There is no cause out there. There's no other world in the mirror. It's just a mirror of you. So how do we illustrate this? Well, I would illustrate it like looking at a picture. Let's say you look at a picture of a beautiful waterfall. If you can see it a little bit back behind me, we can take that one. It's a nice picture. Some colors and the flow of the water, the stillness of the pond, perhaps. So as I look at it, I can decide what I want to see in it. Now, there's going to be a lot coming back. I get that because remember, there's an ingrained past that's superimposed on it that says this is this, and this is this, and this is this. But where did I get that from? I got it from others. I got it from outside. But I get to decide. And the best way to do it is to find something general. So I say, well, there's a beauty, there's a loveliness to it. Maybe there's a stillness to it or flow. And as I start giving it meaning, flow, stillness, beauty, something general, something broad. Remember, everything's a connection between you and your source holds everything. Way more than what we have, and it continuously filtering it back to us, so to speak. And it's going to filter it back to me through that picture. Then I'm going to see the beauty in a new way, and I'll see the flow, and I'll feel as it is myself because it's coming from myself. Everything here is a mirror reflection of the relationship between you and your source, and therefore it has the ability to give to you much clarity, much expansion. Like an open door. Jesus said, the open door that no man can shut. And it's true. No one can shut it. I get to look at it and I get to receive. But I have to put into it intentionally. So as I put in intentionally, just like from this picture, I recognize that I start feeling beauty back. I start feeling what it's like to feel flow back. If you can't feel it, then it always comes from that superimposing of the past that happens to be on it. Well, you're not flowing, you're not beautiful, you're not lovely. And then if you search long enough, you'll say, where did I get the idea that I'm not beautiful and flowing and lovely? Oh, from this experience and that person and this outside. You see, our past literally becomes the outside, that fourth wall, telling us who we are for so long that we have forgotten that we're not. And we get to decide. So here's our source. Here's our divine self reminding us who we are in the form of feeling. You're beautiful. You're lovely. You're amazing. You're fresh. You're new. You're youthful. You see, your eternal bliss. And the more we feel that, and the more we can look outside and reflect that back to us, which is what the journey was all about, a reflection back to who we are in order to receive more of who we are through our reflections, to receive more of who we are through our reflections, then we will feel it. To give and receive will be in the same place. No longer will I need to receive from an outside world that doesn't exist. I can receive based on what I'm putting out right now. Does that make sense? The beauty that I see is the beauty that I receive back. And of course, it has to be of myself. And then maybe I receive more beauty. Or sometimes I'll look at the picture and say, what would you like for me to see? Or what can I see that's new here? And then all of a sudden, some new information, new clarity, new loveliness starts flowing in. Now, if we take that example of the picture, it's much easier because that picture doesn't seem like it has any meaning, even though it could seem like it has meaning coming back from our past. But there's a part of us that knows there's no cause pushing against us. It is indeed what we want it to be. I get that. But now you replace it with a person that has opinions and has ideas about you based on the past or based on what they're seeing. That could be much more difficult. It doesn't feel like a mirror anymore. It feels like there's something looking at you that can judge you. And this is where we all fall into this area. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Because here, this person is using you as a mirror back to them. And they get only what they put out. And now you're using them as a mirror to get back to you. But there is no place where you go like this. And that's where it could be difficult to understand. Just like that picture, that person is the same thing. It has nothing to give you, nothing to tell you of who you are. Only if you allow it in. You can believe what they say about you if you want, but you don't have to. And this is where strength of purpose comes from. Once we understand, we don't have to. We thought we did when we were younger. We built the fourth wall, but we do not. There is no fourth wall. Even with those movies, even with the play, they are seeing only the reflection of what they are putting in. And this is what needs to be understood. Once we get this, you're free. Once you can really see that there is nothing judging you, there's nothing coming back to you. They are only seeing you as a reflection of themselves. And like that picture, when you look at them, you only will receive what you see in them. There's a saying that RuPaul, I follow Drag Race, and he says, what people think of me is none of my damn business. That's the truth. There is nothing ever judging you. And it's the judgment that we're afraid of. We're afraid of that fourth wall. We're afraid of what is seeing us. We're afraid of how we look. You see, we put a lot of focus on what is coming and what is seeing us, what is looking at us. And what if I told you it was literally a mirror of nothing? Would you put your focus there? I have learned in my life, there's nothing judging me. Even those of you that are watching this video, you are only seeing a reflection of what you're putting in. You see, it has nothing to do with me. Therefore, there's no threat. How can we be threatened by a mirror? Now, we do have the ability to attract and to hook into this other world, and now we're stuck to it, attracting what they believe of us, and now we become it, so to speak, and we can attract all kinds of situations. We can even attract a situation where somebody uses a body to try to hurt us. But we also have the ability to let go of that world. I assure you, as you let go of that world of judgment, and you know that what you see, just like that picture, is coming back to me, why would I say I don't like it? Why would I say it doesn't please me? It's going to come back to me. That would be silly. I didn't come here to look at my creation that I have created in order to receive back who I am and the relationship between who I am, the me or the you, or the relationship between myself and my source energy that wants to give to me through my creations. I didn't come here to say I don't like it in order to turn that magnet around. You see? That wouldn't make any sense. Why would I do it? Because once you get rid of that fourth wall, once you recognize that anything that's coming back to you does not have the ability to judge you, say it aloud. You can't judge me. There's nothing attacking me. Just like someone who has anxiety. I had anxiety where it was hard for me to go out far in my neighborhood, or it was on what do we call agoraphobic. You walk down the street and you're afraid. What are you afraid of? There's nothing attacking me. That fourth wall got so big, I started pushing against myself, and of course, turning my magnet against my source and feeling like I want to separate from myself and using the world in order to do it. And it was very uncomfortable. Only when I realized there's nothing attacking me, only the turning of my magnet against myself. Simply because of belief system that says there is something out there that can judge me, something that can hurt me, something that can talk about me. And it's not true. Like that picture, there's nothing. You don't have to bring the past with you everywhere you go. You can let go of it. It's built of this fourth wall. It's built of this defense system, of this identification of trying to be something in order to prove to a world that literally doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You get to decide how you see everything. And I recommend sit with that. Make it easy. Look at some things maybe around your house. You don't have to go right back into the hardest relationship of your life. But you can recognize whatever I see in this is what I get back. There's nothing looking at me from another source. Can you see how that works? The connection, how we talk about one source coming from you back to you. Do you see, where would it be? Where would that source be? And it's the same thing for other people. And as you get used to it more and more, this idea that there's nothing judging me, there's nothing looking at me, only me looking out and reflecting back to myself, then your freedom will come soon. And you'll see, as you look at your money, it's a relationship between you and you. That's it. As you look at someone else, can you love them unconditionally? It doesn't matter what they have coming back. It doesn't matter what they believe of you. It just gives birth to more and more stories of the past arguments that mean nothing, that give birth to a world that literally doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And once you recognize it doesn't exist, you won't focus there. Everything will be new. You'll be able to look at somebody and simply say, you can yell and scream at me, disagree with me, you can do anything you want. All I see is myself, and I love me, and I appreciate me, and I see the abundance in me, and I see the opulence in me, and I see the innocence in me. Because there's only a reflection of who I am, and I am one with Source, one with God. As Jesus said, remember, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love God with all of your might, and love each other as I have loved you. Can you see how all of that comes back to one? He's talking about what he sees is himself. When he was able to heal those people, it's because he saw himself in them. He did not see their sins, their issues, their diseases. You see, he saw the disease in them, not in him. And the more we recognize there is nothing coming back. I give, therefore I receive. There's only one source coming out and coming back. Let go of this idea of the fourth wall. Disprove it more and more, and you will see it is not there. What people think of me is none of my business. It has nothing to do with me. It is only a reflection of them. And it's the same with you. And now you can just get out on that stage and perform and enjoy and love and appreciate. And even the audience will become just another version of you. There will be no fear, no worry of an outside world that never, ever existed. And now the connection between you and you will become stronger, because that is the only thing that stops that connection, is the turn and move away and worry of an outside world that is not there. I hope this helps. Take this with you. Don't believe me? Go and research for yourself. Go investigate. Get curious. And you will see. All things will be revealed. If you like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, please subscribe, and I love your comments. Thank you for everything, and my unconditional love and appreciation.